also doesn't make sense, Alex, is this is a really similar situation to what's going on in Seattle and with Russell Wilson right now. Another big time quarterback, another top 5 quarterback that has trade rumors and team that says they're not going to trade him. But instead of appeasing your quarterback, instead of helping him out, instead of signing offensive talent, maybe helping his defense, maybe helping his offensive line, Alex, to make Russell Wilson a little happier there in Seattle, what do the Seahawks do in the first 2 days of NFL free agency? They sign literally no one. And they let
Nobody.
Shaq Griffin, Carlos Hyde, and Philip Dorsett walk. What?
I mean, really a good strategy because they're, they're not enticing Russell Wilson to stay at all, so it's making it a much easier exit. It's almost like, when you get in a fight with your girlfriend before you're about to go long distance because you want to make it easier for them to leave. It's a classic, strategy here.
Are you speaking
I don't
from
know if it's going to work.
existence?
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to work in this sort of situation here, but yeah, it's definitely been done before. But yeah, I mean, here's what Seattle's problem is that Russell Wilson now has this idea that he's this transcendent, best player in the league type talent, which he's a top 5 quarterback. He is not Patrick Mahomes. He is not a guy that it doesn't matter what you have around him, he's going to win games, which I think Patrick Mahomes is. And I think there's only one,
Unless
maybe
we're talking
two,
Super Bowl.
maybe stop. Maybe 2 quarterbacks like that in the NFL right now. I think Russell's one, and I think Deshaun Watson's the other. I think if you put no teams around them, you still have a floor of 6, 7, 8, 9 wins. With Russell Wilson, you need people around him. You need a strong running game. You saw how much he's bitching about offensive line protection. He clearly needs an offensive line.
And
When
the free
has he
agency
had?
that you see all the top talent of offensive line already signed. If the Seahawks don't at least sign like Riley Reef
They need someone, right?
or
I mean,
Hudson
they
because the
need
Raiders cut
someone.
them for some reason. Okay, sorry, Alex. I just want to speak on this because they draft or the Raiders cut their center Hudson.
Yeah.
They cut him. And he takes a cap hit of $2 million. So they've cut 4 of their 5 starting offensive linemen. And Hudson, a really good, talented center.
Really good.
And you take a $2 million cap hit. Was he not a part of John Gruden's way? This literally makes zero sense to me.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense. Unless there was a huge falling out with Trent Brown being traded and Rodney Hudson said, I'm not going to play here anymore because my buddy got traded. But
he's
yeah,
gonna make money.
I just don't get
team,
it.
though. He's gonna make some
Yeah.
money with another team. But the Seahawks
yeah.
have to do something. Bottom line, Seahawks have to do something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
Eh, it's. I'm not even Russell Wilson, but I'm aggravated for him. I'm not even a Seahawks fan, but I'm aggravated for them.
I'll be honest. I mean, wait, are you saying you're aggravated for the fans or for Russell Wilson?
For both.
Okay, no, I completely disagree. I am so off Russell Wilson right now. He's been
Really?
like kind of like annoying for a while, and he's always had just this weird way of conducting himself where it was innocent because he was like the most humble and he was the most team centric and all this stuff, and he was his Go Hawks thing. It was all kind of like a shtick. It was corny. It was his gimmick. But now that he comes out that he's demanding all these things, he had a falling out with Pete Carroll, all that luster is kind of wearing off on him. Where now like the stuff that he does that was annoying and cheesy and corny is now just annoying. It's just like, who does this guy think he is? He thinks that he's this god amongst men, and that he gets to call the shots. And like if he would have posted his video, with his Mr. Unlimited video right now, the approval, the amount of backlash he would get from that is astounding. And I think it's because he's now come out as this like demanding, bratty player, and it's just not a good look on him at all, especially when he's trying to be this Mr. Humble, like I'm team first, all that stuff. Clearly you're not team first. You're roasting your offensive line, the guys who protect you. It's ridiculous. It makes no sense. I'm annoyed with Russell Wilson. I'm out. I'm off of him. He can go wherever he wants. I don't even care if he stays in the NFC West because that Seahawks team is going to be a nightmare with him back there again. So, I'm off the Seahawks.
I have fair enough
Sorry,
to me.
that was kind of a rant there. I don't know why I got so
No,
worked up over Russell Wilson, but
I like
it's
that.
ridiculous the way he conducts himself and expects everyone to still love him. Like it's ridiculous.
I can get behind that. I can get behind that, Alex. And if we want to transition from Russell Wilson, here's a team that thought that they had hope that they're going to get Russell Wilson. The Chicago Bears fans, look at all this. You're Russell Wilson's top trade destination. So what do? You go from Russell Wilson, a top 5 quarterback, and instead of him, you get Andy
The
Dalton for
Red
a year.
Rocket.
You get Andy Dalton. How much of a letdown? How you go from Russell Wilson to Andy Dalton?
I mean, this is just absolutely classic Bears fans. They shoot for the moon. They have these expectations. Their ownership tells them, we're gonna get you your guys. We're gonna get you a quarterback finally. We're putting out all these trade offers, and you know, even if they were putting out all these trade offers, at the end of the day, you didn't get them. And at the end of the day, you spent $10 million on Andy Dalton, who looked like he could not lead a horse to water last year.
And
I
you want to
mean,
know what you're paying $10 million for? You're paying $10 million for Mitch Trubisky with red hair.
yeah, and less mobile Mitch Trubisky.
I
It makes no sense. It literally makes no sense. Like
Ryan Pace.
The Bears have done an incredible job at ruining a top 5 defense for the last 5 years.
And I think if for going just off of this, I had the biggest loser here as Bears fans specifically because I really do feel for them. And if we want to throw an honorary mention there to wrap in with the Bears, Allen Robinson, because not only do you get stuck with the franchise tag, you get stuck with less money, you don't get a long-term deal, but you go from Nick Foles, Mr. Trubisky, to Andy Dalton throwing you the football.
I mean, Andy
Get
Dalton
him, get,
at least he's been able to show that he can sustain a number 1 receiver and he'll feed the ball to AJ Green. So I don't. I mean, we touched on this the earlier part of the show. Allen Robinson's going to get paid next year. All he's doing is just taking another top 5 wide receiver salary for this year. It sucks that he doesn't have a long-term deal. It sucks he doesn't have guaranteed money, but we've seen this story before where a guy gets franchise tagged and the next year he gets a bag.
Still wasting his time in Chicago, though, is the unfortunate thing here. Thoughts and prayers with Allen Robinson and Bears fans during these very, very troubling times. As long as you're stuck with Ryan Pace, you're going to be stuck in hell. That's all I got to say there.